And then there came a day like many others. The best Flarking podcast. Your nerd's eye view of TV, film, comics, and video games. With you as always, your mother Flarking hosts, Dunners and Reeg. Fellas, show them who they're Flarking with.
Hello, good people of the multiverse. It is that time again. It is the best Flarking podcast. This is episode 32. It is the date 8/18 of 2016. I am your host, Dunners, and with me as always is Reeg. Reeg, what are we talking about today? What are we doing?
We're going to be going over a few items here from the past week, most of which, a couple of big titles still carrying over from last week. One being, Suicide Squad. The other being No Man's Sky that was released. We've got a new little section here that I like to call the Reeg Report, just because, my name fits so well with report. So it's like...
And we like things that make our names rhyme well. We love it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we try to touch on so many things, within the hour and a half to an hour podcast that we have here. And I think a lot of things, kind of the littler things at least, maybe just kind of get thrown by the wayside, and you guys got to kind of catch them on Twitter and maybe in the liner notes or whatever. But we're just going to start mentioning them just for the sake of mentioning them. Might not speak to them at length, but we'll certainly do our best here. But going right into it, I think, let's carry over from last week and just dead this damn thing, because Suicide Squad has not been doing well.
Well, I mean, well enough. Yes.
I
mean, it's not
to make it.
It's not the hit that everyone it's not the hit that it needs to be. We'll put it that way. But at the same time, I don't think it's going to stop them from making Suicide Squad 2 when it hits 600 million. Because that's what I'm thinking. Its final tally.
It's going to hit?
It's got to open in Germany and Japan still.
Okay, fair enough.
And it crossed the 500 million mark today. I think it's good to put up another 100 million. I don't think it's good to put up another 300 million that they need to make it quote unquote profitable, like they say. But I think that it's going to do $600 million. I do think that.
And doesn't that put them 150 short of what they would need to break even, though?
Well, I mean, no one ever says exactly what they need to, but that's the internet report is that it's
right.
That it's 150 to 850 to break, and I don't know if that's true or not, but it could be. I'm not saying that it isn't, but at the same time, Warner has so much fucking money, they don't care. Losing 150 to 250 on this movie out of their projections isn't going to stop them from making another Suicide Squad. What it's going to do, though, is it's going to do one of two things. It's either going to embolden them to do more of whatever the fuck they want, because they know that people are going to go see it no matter what, and they're going to slash budgets.
Okay, right, cool, because this is what I wanted to ask you. This is where I wanted to go next. Is
okay.
What does this tell us, then? What can we surmise from this thing happening here?
Well, I mean, it means that Warner is going to keep meddling. They're going to keep doing whatever they want to do, because they ended up getting this violent, angry group of hardcore fans having their conspiracy theory about fucking Suicide Squad and moving on and moving forward, and how Warner is geniuses and how everyone else is dumb and how we need to just back the fuck off. But so basically what's going to happen, I think, is Warner's going to be like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to not spend as much money on the movies. We're going to try and come in on Ant-Man level budgets. We're only going to do 1 to 2 guys in the movie, but we're just going to do whatever we want, because right now the fan base is so eager for DC's universe to succeed. And this is more of a critique of hardcore DC fans. They're so obsessed with the idea that their comic content is better that I don't think most of them can handle the fact that their movies blow dicks by comparison to Marvel's movies. fucking fire up the air horn.
Oh,
but like,
shit.
I've always felt that way. Like I've always liked both, and we all know we're both more Marvel guys than we are DC guys. But I happen to have a real soft spot for a lot of DC heroes and a lot of DC comics. I do not have a soft spot for any DC fans though, because all of them act like they're the comic book store guy on The Simpsons. That's what real life DC fans are. They're
actually
Batman would never lose in a fight to anyone in the Marvel universe because the Marvel universe is inferior. So like there's always that, and you know what, that passion's fucking radical. I think it's great that you guys love something that hard. I don't ever want to talk to you in person about comics at all. But
never ever.
To go back, I think that it's that level of fandom is the same kind of shit that it's just like PlayStation rules, Xbox rules, you guys are dumb. And it's just like it's that level of fandom that helps push shitty things getting done. And it's just like, so I think DC's biggest lesson is they can also do whatever they want and get away with it no matter what. This is the weird dichotomy of the situation, because we had this exact same kind of thought. I mean, not us, because we weren't doing the podcast back then, but like all of the collective us, the royal we, as it were. And when Guardians came out, and it was like, holy shit, Guardians is so fucking good. Marvel can do whatever they want because all they do is make great movies. Because that's what because they thought Guardians, everyone knows that Guardians is supposed to be the flop. Guardians is supposed to be the one that didn't do well, and it did fucking tremendous. Now with this, it's the other side of the coin where it's like, holy fucking shit, DC can do whatever they want, because even when the movie thematically makes no sense, and there's no reason to have the characters that they have, they don't do any character development, no one has an arc or grows, and nothing is resolved or make any sense by the end of it, and nothing's any different. Like, they basically are just like, all right, just fucking film some shit and throw it up there and put some like booms in it, and then like make sure,
and we'll still make 600.
Make sure Harley Quinn's ass cheeks are progressively further out the whole movie. But like, so it's like DC's like, we can do whatever we want. Aquaman, it's great. Let's go for it. I mean, this is another like diverging away, but seeing James Wan be like, Aquaman, he's like, are you gonna do it? You're gonna do it, aren't you? He's DC's, because I laughed so hard at this. He's DC's Wolverine. I'm like, Wolverine. I'm like, no, DC most certainly does have a Wolverine character, and his name is fucking Lobo. Like, you want your fucking like badass anti-hero. It's fucking Lobo. Let alone it's Lobo. It ain't. What a terrible analogy. Fucking Aquaman. It's like, Aquaman is the guy because he's part of a world he doesn't understand. I'm like, fuck, every superhero is part of a world they don't understand. That's part of the superhero thing. Again, like, another director who knows nothing about the character they're directing. It's this whole thing of like, it's just like, I think that's where it's going with this whole thing, is that they just don't get it. And the guy steering the ship, including Jeff Johns, he doesn't get it either. And that's super weird because he totally gets comics. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, I thought, what a terrible analogy, because even outside of the comics, if you want to talk about cinematic universes, still, what a terrible fucking analogy, dude. Like, those first two Wolverine movies suck. Yeah, they're terrible. Like, what do you mean? Just... Oy vey. I don't know. Man, enough of that shit, though. But it did drop off almost 70%, like we talked about. Yeah. It's a lot of money. Yeah. Not quite as big as BVS, but yeah, it almost lost to Sausage Party, which is crazy. And that's a whole other bag of cats. I don't want to talk about Sausage Party because I hear it's a good movie, but you know what? They treated my brothers in arms really bad. So I don't want to. I don't want to really. Oh yeah, I read. Okay, I don't really want to give them as much. The animators. Yeah, I don't want to give them as much publicity because anyone who threatens to blacklist animators because they won't work for free are garbage people. But yeah, so what do we got next? What are we doing next here? That big old game.
that came out. You know, a little Tuesday release for PS4 owners, which I've been gaming on it. And then that Friday came around, and holy shit, did the internet lose their collective minds. Some players had buggy releases, some others had fine, just everything ran smoothly.
I still can't play it.
Of course, we're talking about No Man's Sky.
I still can't play at 2.5K resolution. I can play at 4K though. I just can't play at 2.5K. I don't know why that's a thing that happens, but it won't. It does stutter framing at 2.5K and fucks up.
That's just bizarre.
This has been a catastrophe of a PC launch, man. It's been terrible. I mean, I love the fact that we already have a ton of mods that allow you to fix things. In your face, sure. HUD remover, because that's what I use now. I hit F5, drop the HUD out, and take my screens.
I can't even say it's a small list of gripes, but of the list of gripes, I mean, I love the game. It's not take away from that. So don't let my attitude set the tone for this thing moving forward. I love playing this game. But of the gripes that I did have, that one I didn't even think about until you had brought it up, man.
Dude,
I hadn't even started to begin to post my screenshots yet, but let alone even think about how the hell am I going to get all these icons and all the UI out of the way.
Yeah, man, it's unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. For a game about exploration and discovery to have no photo mode whatsoever. Like, yeah, dude, it's amazing that 15 people made this game, but maybe a little bit more oversight about what makes these huge games awesome would be great. Right. I know that,
but Witcher 3 gets a camera mode now.
Oh, dude, I still haven't played Witcher 3. So when they said that the Ansel support was in there, I fucking shit my pants. I was so excited. I'm like, oh yes. My God, Ansel support? Yes, I'm gonna be making panoramas and doing all sorts of fucking goofy shit. This is gonna be awesome. I was fucking super excited, so I'm way in on that shit. But man, like, it's weird because here's my feelings on No Man's Sky, because I've played it a bunch.
Similar to our movies, dude. Let's run down it. What do you like? What do you not like?
I have 10 hours logged in on my Steam tracker for how many hours I played, but I'll which is a fair amount in a week, I guess. Not really, and I think that's kind of telling, because my thoughts on the matter are not that I love this game. My thoughts are that I want to love this game, but I don't. I like this game, and I like what it allows me to do, but I can't help but feel like this game is a giant lie. And that's really unacceptable, because the things that were promised and the things that were delivered are Suicide Squad level different. And I don't think that that's okay. So I will probably end up playing this. I'll probably end up playing this game for probably 40, 50, 60 hours, which is a lot for a game, when you can get it down to $1 an hour. That's how you can tell whether a game is truly successful. But I don't like the fact that almost all the planets are the exact same, regardless of their colors change, their Instagram filters change as you leave the planets, and the fauna and the flora are all very similar. Like lots of dick-faced creatures on all fours.
Oh yeah, there's tons of balls hanging around everywhere.
And like the thing that bothers me is like, when we saw the original launch trailer in 2014, it's a dude getting out of his ship, and there's a fucking giant Brachiosaurus eating from a giant palm tree, and everything's swaying and beautiful, and none of that shit's in the game now. And it's like, wow, that's pretty fucked. And it's like, jump into space and see.
We've all seen that video, the comparison video right now.
The Jurassic Park.
The E3 trailer.
Yeah.
And then cuts over to the real life with the botched accordion playing the Jurassic Park.
Yeah. And the fucking like weird salad fingers dinosaur running around. And so like I have a lot of fun installing the mods and like making money and buying ships, but I'll tell you, the most fun I had is like playing Galactic Trade Runner and Explorer on my own and not thinking about anything in this game, because I've started to do the Path of Atlas after you're like, get your Atlas pass so you can fucking buy a suit upgrade. And I was like, all right, that's legit. I need to get that. So I took a break from, I left the the system I named, this is where all the fucking money is. I left my planet, Vortex Cube Money Motherfucker Planet.
How did the bad language filter not
because you
catch you on
spell
any of these?
motherfucking MOTHER or MUHFUGGIN.
You're out there speaking like elite member.
Yeah, dude. I fucking took a page out of the 12-year-old's books and did it. And the game is sloppy looking. Like, the graphics are bad for what it is.
Yeah, they're not. They're certainly not up there.
You know, they're sloppy. And I have a 10-slot multi-tool now, but I think the ability to get multi-tools at random and having them show up at different, like, settlements and space stations instead of having a place where you can consistently upgrade your multi-tool kind of blows too. I think there's lots of things that like are close but just no cigar, and that's what a lot of it feels like. But despite that, taking the screenshots, sharing them with my friends who are playing, and being like, oh yeah, I went to this planet and I saw this thing, and sending them, you know, texts or tweets or, you know, all that kind of shit. That's the best part of the game. And renaming stuff after people, you know, and be like, hey, look, I named this creature after you. Like, all that kind of stuff is the best part of the game. And I feel like they need to build on that. And I feel like there needs to be something where, and I know this breaks the concept of the game because they want you to feel the bigness. But if you're going to be a concept of building bases and having a home base and being able to ranch animals and mate them and do all these kind of things that they say are coming down the line, I want to be able to get back to my base instantly. I don't care that it breaks the idea of traveling across the cosmos, because it's really cool to be like, all right, it's going to take me 3 minutes to get to this planet. When I'm in space and coming out, even not like hyperspace, you know, it's like 3 minutes till planetfall. And it's like, oh, cool. I'll run upstairs and do a bunch of like minuscule, tiny micro chores really fast. Like, that kind of stuff is neat. But I also kind of wonder how much time I've spent playing the game and how much time I've spent flying around in space doing nothing.
That's an interesting metric, yeah. I wonder if we'll be able to plug.
Because I bet it's 50-50. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, no, seriously, you're probably right.
So I don't know, how do you fucking feel about this thing? What are your thoughts on this thing? What do you?
I'm conflicted as well, because I don't, you know, in the same vein, I don't love the game. I love playing the game. So it's like, it's this weird thing where I get home and I definitely don't look forward to hopping on. And with no objective in mind, you know, kind of like just let me explore shit, maybe get a little bit further down my Atlas path, or let alone, you know, oh shit, I'm running out of inventory. You know, there's just so many problems as soon as I log into the damn game. But what I think is, well, part of the first problem is that I think as soon as Sony got behind us, that's when it became a problem. You got, you know, little indie developer. Like, if this had happened with any other small indie game, I can't think of one that remotely even comes to mind with this type of excitement built around it. But, you know, once the machine gets behind it and they start putting up big presentations at shows and everything, like, of course, I think things are going to get said that maybe don't get to be implemented into the game. So, who was it? I think it was Kotaku who had a great article written about it. And there was a game developer who was part of a big AAA developing company who had said something to the effects of, you know, well, this is kind of the repercussions of having your front guy from the small indie place be speaking about aspirations versus kind of expectations. What is going to be in the game, what's locked in versus what we want to work on, you know, which is why companies and PR messages get around shit, stuff like that. So number one, that's kind of I think where a lot of the hype got away. But I don't know, man, I kind of enjoy just being able to veg out and not have to have an objective in mind and just get on here and see what the hell is going on for a little bit. I will say, to the effect of where you were talking about sharing with people, and that is a great aspect of it, which I love. However, that even for me in its second week now has kind of died down because I'm seeing and hearing a lot of the same shit. You know, they're like, oh, well, that animal kind of just looks like mine with, you know, scales or a different head or whatever the hell it might be, you know, bigger hind legs. And or even going to a space station and signing up to the or saying that you're gonna wed this alien, and it's like, oh yeah, that happened to me too. It's like, well, fuck. How many of these experiences that I'm having are really unique anymore?
Yeah, and it feels like none of them really.
Right. So that's the biggest one for me. The gripe. I do like a lot of that realism where it does take a minute to 2 minutes, you know, to get to some planet, even though it's in hyperdrive. Yeah, man. I like, my overall feeling is it's just like, it's like vanilla Destiny. There's just so much there. I see so much potential in it still, and I'm having a lot of fun playing it. And I'm honestly, I mean, shit, man, go back a year. You constantly would make fun of me for how much I hate that game, and I still fucking played it.
Yeah. Well, apparently you should. It's the time to get back in, because apparently that new expansion that's coming or is out right now is unbelievable. Because I keep seeing all the game media talking about it.
I know, and I do too, but they're gonna have to give it to me in order to get me back in. Otherwise, I'm waiting for 2, man. Come on, I am tempted though. Don't, you know, just to sidetrack a little bit.
You pushed me too far. You pushed me too far.
I'm fucking tempted. Yeah, man. We talked about this, that in many circumstances, I'm squints at the pool, ready to dive into the deep end, man.
And fucking Destiny is...
Can't take it anymore.
Fucking Destiny is Wendy Preffercorn diving in to save you.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But no, it's good. It's fun. There's so much room for improvement. It's hard to... I think, and a lot of the other podcasts that I listen to in reviews of this game, and I totally agree with them, it's so hard to slap a number on this game for its review level.
I agree with that.
I think it's such a difficult thing to do, because no matter if you're reviewing, I guess after the awe and wonderment goes into effect, and you kind of just look at what's there, and it's like, okay, well, at its core, this functionality and the things in the game aren't really that good, so we're gonna give it a 6 or a 7 or a whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, if that's the criteria you're judging it on. However, the one thing you will not be able to take away from this game specifically is that first time I hopped in my ship and I held down the button to thrust off planet, and that wobbly 0G kind of like whoa took over for a second. You're going, holy fuck, I get to fly somewhere.
But man, does space combat suck.
Oh, it's the worst. But I'm like, I don't know, that feeling, you won't be able to take that away.
Oh yeah,
and I think this game is heading in places that, you know what, let's keep going. If this is like the tried it and failed, keep trying and failing until we figure out something else. Because it feels like it's kind of like movie genres now. It's like, well, here's your set genres for games, and there's nothing else being made. And this is that, and that's it. And this is so far outside of those, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
that I'm just like, let's keep doing it. Let's keep trying.
Yeah, I can see that point, and I definitely agree with you on the first time you warp out of a planet. It has its own Rapture reveal moment, because that's what I call those moments now. Because I think BioShock's reveal of Rapture is probably the best moment in video games ever for me, where it's like, I chose my own path. I chose Rapture. And then the bathysphere goes over the edge, and there's the whole fucking city underwater.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's holy shit, that's where I'm going?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is great. But here, conversely, I've played BioShock start to finish 10 times, and I'm probably going to play it in 11th.
Damn.
And in the beginning of September here, when the remastered version comes out, that has new collectibles and new shit, and they're just really going to the nines to redo BioShock 1 and 2, and they're just re-releasing Infinite because Infinite's fine. They're just upscaling the resolution factors. But I don't think that I will revere No Man's Sky the way I revere Bioshock or many other games that have had that big moment. Like, or the first time you see Sephiroth when he kills
oh my
Eris.
God.
Like I don't feel like,
dog, that moment, that's the moment for me.
I don't feel like No Man's Sky will stand the test of time because, one, it's a flavor of the month game. We won't talk about No Man's Sky in a year. We will talk about the principles that No Man's Sky brought to the table in a year.
Agreed. And
So,
that's
like,
where I mentioned in that vanilla Destiny kind of feel.
Exactly. And you're dead on with that. We will talk about the cool things that it brought to the table and how amazing it's going to be when we play an RPG that's a procedurally generated continent, and everywhere in the continent is somewhere where we can go. Ooh. And every time we play the newest version of The Witcher with all of The Witcher's things that you can do in it, but everyone gets a different game because the quests and everything are scripted differently for everyone. That's something that's going to be really cool. And I think that No Man's Sky will have a really long life for YouTube streamers and for Twitch streamers because of the, like, everything is different kind of thing and how everyone can spin that. But, like...
Well, to that point, I don't really watch a whole lot of streams. I mean, obviously, I'll stop into some, see what's up, hang out a little bit, chat with some fellow gamers and shit. But this one, I honestly, I find myself, like, just lost in streams.
Yeah,
longer than I normally do.
Yeah, man, it's a pretty game, and I love the ones where, like, people have been taking long time lapse shots of, like, creatures running around, and like, oh yeah, all we need is a David Attenborough commentary, and we got this whole thing. Like, there are lots of, like, really small magical moments that happen in the game. Like, I've come across a few planets now where they're just flush with creatures, and
little micro experiences.
Yeah, and like all these things that are really cool. But like the most fun that I've had is like being like a Han Solo, and I just go to a planet full of vortex cubes and I steal them all and I fight all the sentinels and run back to my ship, fly to the nearest space station, sell them, and go back, and I'm making 2-3 million units in an hour, and I'm like, I'm fucking rich. And then I see an alien land from the space station. I go, hey, your ship's got 25 slots, and he's like, yeah, it does. I'm like, here's a fucking 1.5 million, brother. Give me that ship.
Gimme.
And he's like, what am I gonna do? I don't give a fuck. You're rich now. You don't gotta do nothing if you don't want to, bud. Give me that ship. And he's like, all right. And
your other ship's still sitting there, and you're like, what do I do with this now?
Yeah, it's like, what? Did I just throw this in the space garbage, or... Is that fine? I do.
Right? Can I recycle and get some parts?
I do love that every space station's set up with one door on the left, one door on the right. Like,
yeah, everything is set up. That's the only. Yeah, that's another gripe. It's just like
the building set up. But I will say this:
everything.
And you guys can fight me about it. Gek for life.
Fight him.
Gek for life, baby. The Gek are my dudes. The little fucking chameleon guys.
Yep. Yeah. That's who I had my first system.
Yeah, I had the fucking... I had
the Korvax and the Viking.
I had the fucking whack-ass robot people, but the Gekker, who I have, like...
the Korvax.
The Gekka have, like, 120 words in their language, so, like, whenever I talk to them, and it's like, sup, they're like, sup, player? Let me tell you a whole story, and you don't have to guess at shit anymore. I'm like, nice. Like, fucking the Viking and the Korvax, like, oh my god, like, they're straight up, like... If you're going to do a 3 alien race thing, you got to make sure you don't land on the same tropes as, like, the fucking Protoss Terran and the fucking Zerg. You got to make sure you don't do that. Because that's the tropes was like, we have the warrior race that are all, like, hand-to-hand combat and shamanistic. I'm like, all right, Viking, Protoss. We have the workmen. Well, I guess you could say that the Viking are also kind of like the swarm, because there's tons of them and they use... nothing but hand-to-hand. And then you can say the Korvax. Kinda. The Korvax are the Protoss because they're all robots.
Definitely.
And futuristic technology. And the Gek are humans because they're the fucking they're just some dudes,
little
man.
Happy-go-lucky fuckers, yeah.
The fact that they wear goggles make them so tight.
With the little flappy side panels, yeah. Dude, like, dog, your peripheral vision is all fucked up.
The fucking Gek are wearing 30s era fucking aviation goggles. In space.
Right. I'm gonna come at you from the side. You never see me coming.
And they like to fucking eat iron. So, good for them. But yeah, all in all, it's a game that has a lot of good principles to it, and a game I'll sink a bunch of time into. But I'm not comfortable saying it's a good game or a great game. It's a game that is interesting, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yep.
So I mean, I would say check it out at your own discretion. I also, for video games, I fucking hate the idea of a numerical system for games, because I don't feel like their experiences are quantifiable.
You mean rating?
Yeah, I don't feel like they're quantifiable.
Like a 1 through 10?
I don't feel like they're quantifiable like that. Because I'll tell you what, there's a game that everyone fucking hated for PS4 that I actually had a relatively good time with, because I got it for almost no money and I beat it in like 8 hours. You know, actually I returned it to GameStop, so I got to play it for free. And that's The Order 1886, and I was like, this game's pretty much by the numbers, but I don't dislike it. I'm like, it's most certainly not the 4 that everyone said it was. It's definitely better than, like, below failing by a substantial margin. I'm like, I'm so confused by why this is a 4. And then there are games that are like the upper like 8s, where it's just like, God, this game is so fucking boring. Why is this a game that everyone loves?
Well, when I talked to you about The Order, I've had a hard time getting into it. I've played it. Personally, the biggest thing that pisses me off, if we're sidetracking on that real quick, the letterbox. Get that fucking letterbox off my screen when I'm in gameplay.
They're not going to do it. They won't do it for you.
Doug, that's so much wasted real estate. Are you fucking kidding me?
They're not going to do it for you. They want you to watch the movie.
Oh my God.
They want you to watch the movie game that you paid for.
The movie game, yeah.
You know.
That immediately drops the score down for me. But no, I don't know. I got to see it yet. I can definitely... I totally get what you're saying, though. But I think that's a lot of gamers.
Yeah.
Definitely have their games that they think they're like, what? This wasn't a 4? What? This wasn't a 5? This was a fucking 9.
Yeah,
you know?
And then there's games like, this most certainly isn't a 9. Or it's just like, it's hard to...
Right.
I like the idea of like, here's what we thought was good about it. Here are the things we thought were like shitty about it. And it's like a 1-page like essay about what is an opportunity and what is a slam dunk. And I'm like, cool.
Yep.
That sounds way better to do for a review system than like 9. I was like, wow.
Well, right.
9.
Yeah, Kotaku does it best, honestly. I think they don't do a score. They just, what's the verdict, number 1, which they just give kind of a one-word answer to. Good, great, amazing, blah, blah, blah. But then they just do pros and cons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do a great job now. 3 years ago, they were most certainly
okay.
They were most certainly a numerical system, but that's because the whole review world got shaken up, because it's hard to... I'll tell you what it's hard to do. It's hard to get paid money to review a game and not give it a high number. But when you remove numbers from the system, you can get paid whatever you want as long as you talk about what was good and what was bad. And you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if they're getting paid for the reviews. I don't fucking care anymore. Like, I just don't care. But there are a bunch of PS4 games I want to buy, but we'll talk about that some other time.
Ooh.
They're all like Japanese games from Atlas. Every single one of them is.
Well, tell me about it.
You want to fucking go? You want to go into it now? Though they re-released Odin Sphere, which is amazing.
Yep, it's on my list, dude. I'm so glad you mentioned
Odin
that.
Sphere is dope. I'll probably get that like tomorrow.
How about God Eater 2?
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. But then there's Azure Knights came out, and then I'm actually thinking about buying a Wii U just so I can play Tokyo Mirage Sessions, because it's gotten such high reviews from just about everyone on Earth. I don't play any of the Shin Megami Tensei games at all. I don't play Persona, none of that shit, but I do like Fire Emblem a lot. So
I'm so ready for Persona.
So to see them married together in a Wii U game that everyone across all platforms is like, yep, if there were more games like this made for the Wii U, everyone would own a Wii U.
Yeah, that sounds like something I can jive with. Definitely.
And plus, I found one on Craigslist for like $100. So of course I'm gonna buy a Wii U for like nothing. Thank you, NX, for killing that.
Gonna be playing that Zelda soon.
Yeah, I get a little tired of Nintendo's game setups. Of course, whatever the fucking Lincoln Super HD pastel color game looks really cool. Was it like Beasts of the...
Yeah,
Breath of the Wind.
Something.
The Winds of No Nation.
There's wind and breath and fire in it. I know that much.
So like, it looks neat. Like the idea of it being, like it looks like it's, it's just one of those things where it's I refuse to believe Nintendo is going to change. Like they're
banking on Mario and Zelda and Donkey Kong till the death. And Star Fox.
This is the game that we're making. It's got all these new things. I'm like, do I have to go to a water temple? Do I have to go to a fire temple? Shut up, Nintendo.
Shut up. Go home, Nintendo. You're drunk.
Don't tell me it's like, oh no, it's gonna be totally different. Yeah, like Twilight Princess was totally different than the other ones. The only one, the only Zelda game of like the modern era that I truly, truly, deeply, truly love is Wind Waker. Wind Waker's so fucking good. Like everything about Wind Waker's tight. Because Wind Waker's the last one. That's what's fucking great about Wind Waker. Because all the Zelda games happen in this fucking goofy, out of order, fucking dumb shit timeline. Where you can't tell which descendant of Link you are.
It's like a DC trade paperback Green Lantern event.
That is exactly what Zelda's timeline is like. And I love that fucking Wind Waker's the last one. It's great that it's the last one. It's just like awesome. So we get to find,
because you got to play it before all the intermediate shit.
Well, it's nice to be like, yeah, the reason that like there are only islands and there's water everywhere is because someone used the Triforce to wish for a giant flood to come and flood the land, so that way Ganon couldn't take them over. And the islands that you're seeing are the tips of all the mountains in all of Hyrule.
So does that mean in one of these new games you're going to be presented with a wish to make, and if you choose the wrong wish, like, it's game over? You got to go back.
I'm pretty sure it'll just
realize that playing Widow or Wind Waker, you should have wished for water or what? I don't understand.
There's an amazing game theories video that's like a 7-parter that chronicles the entirety of how Zelda works, and it's like almost as close as anyone's ever gotten to getting it right, apparently.
No shit.
According to Nintendo. And they talk about how there's 2 like split universes. There's Kid Link's universe, and then there's Adult Link's universe, and they separate into 2 different timelines down the path when he jumps through time and shit. But like,
well, I'm gonna have to look this up, because I was just joking, but now I'm actually genuinely curious.
Enjoy the internet hole you're going to fall down looking at all that shit. But like a lot of it though, it feels like a lot of projection. There's lots of stuff where it's like, okay, sure, that's what happened, but that could also not be what happened. Like,
right, no shit,
it's a lot of that. But before veering far too far off the beaten path.
And speaking of internet holes of falling down, should we just go right into the Reeg Report real quick here?
Let's get this thing started.
All right, mate. Well, hey, this is for the people. This is because we love you guys so much.
This is your world, Reeg. We just live in it.
Yeah, this is for Flarker Nation right here. And feel free, Adam. I want your input at the end of these things. If there's anything you feel that worthy of speaking upon. Well,
a couple of these are going to be things that I'm hearing for relatively the first time too. So I mean, you'll get my visceral, unfiltered, mentholy reaction to the
ooh, mentholy. Well, number one, this week, Spotify introduced a new gaming section filled with curated playlists from guest DJs, game developers, game sites, but then also just having one collective place to go and find all gaming soundtracks and shit. It's been super awesome for me, and I really haven't stopped listening to it all week.
I haven't even opened up Spotify. I made the switch. To Apple Music full time.
Oh, Apple.
And
well, you're losing now.
I mean, trust me, I like Spotify's UI, I like all that stuff, but I don't like not being able to get the new musics as fast as I want. And the final straw was most exclusives are either them or Tidal. There's almost no exclusives to Spotify. Like when you look at
who.
Well, I mean,
who's come out recently?
Frank Ocean's record's coming out. Was it Beyonce's Lemonade was exclusive to Apple?
Yeah.
And Tidal. And oh my god, now I can't remember which one
Drake.
Yeah, the Drake, but I don't.
Drake was exclusive to Apple.
I don't particularly.
Well, no, and that's why I say it though, because I'm like, other than like gigantic names, there's nobody who holds exclusivity.
But there are things that I do like.
I mean, Atmosphere just came out on Friday.
I did absolutely want to listen to Drake's record when it first came out. I don't really like Drake, but when it's like, all right, you get to have it on Apple Music, you can listen to it right away. And
sure.
And then like I also don't like the whole like stagger. Oh, Adele's record. Adele not being on fucking Spotify at all is a pain in the ass. And like there's all of those things.
Ooh, you big Adele fan?
I like good singing. I don't care who.
I don't care who
it comes from.
No contest from me.
I don't care who. I don't care who it comes from. But like, yeah, it's
great.
like so, and I couldn't find. I would have kept Spotify too, but I couldn't find 6 people to turn Spotify into a $2 a month thing for me.
Into a family. So yeah, I saw you tweeting about. I'm in. You know, hey, if we can find 4 more, I'm in on that. Man, fucking, I'm already paying for it. So.
I'm saying like that's what my whole thought process was. Like I'm already paying like $10. So like why don't I get like a whole crew together and it's all $2 a piece? It's like it doesn't.
Let's do it. Let's holler at the nerd.
It doesn't make any sense to pay full price when you can game the system. And then you'd have them both, and it wouldn't be a problem. The only thing you'd be missing is title, and I wouldn't say you'd be missing it, Bob.
True. Very true.
You know, so.
But yeah, that's out there now. So you guys go check that out. It's definitely worth your while if you're a Spotify member or if you're not, because you can do that whole stream for free thing and just listen to commercials in between songs. They're all dope, anyways. Number 2 on the list, kind of disheartening for me. I don't think you care at all. And Final Fantasy 15 has been delayed till November 30th.
Ugh, I don't give a shit at all. Not even one of those like little tiny like you thought you only farted and you shitted your pants kind of shit.
It was just empty.
Not even accidental shit. I couldn't fucking care any fucking less. Not to say that,
and I just
not to say that Final Fantasy
the game's
sucks.
been in development for what 5 years, I think, something just ridiculous, and I'm just
too long. It's been in.
Yeah, this is the last. I'll buy it, I'll play it, and I probably won't have an opinion on it. Actually, that's a lie. I'll have an opinion on it.
You will do a full book report on that fucker for the podcast because that's how we do things here, man.
Yes. But Kingsglaive is coming out soon. And that's why too, duh, because this fucking game has King Regis in it. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm not going to play that game?
I feel like there's going to be all sorts
and Sean Bean is voicing King Regis? Get the fuck out of here.
All sorts of goofy bullshit.
It's my game. Number 3, we got a new Overwatch map coming. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. There you go. What is it?
Eichenwald. We're going to go to where Reinhardt comes from.
Looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm not excited about the idea of a hybrid payload map again. Like, but you know what? Now that they've eliminated coin flip, I don't really give as much of a fuck. Stopwatch rules the day now, so that's a-okay for me.
It does.
That's a-okay for me.
But yeah,
it looks really good. Looks really big. Looks like a really big map.
It does look really big. And tying into that, not in the time order sequence of when these things came out or anything, but we got a new short today, animated short with Bastion.
Yeah, we did.
Of which we saw
the last Bastion.
Ike and whatever in the background there. Because it looked like as they were doing the tour of the map, there were a lot of dead bastards lying around that map.
Yeah, it's weird because like it looks like he's running to like through the forest and stuff. It makes you think he's going to Eichenwald, but that city that he sees in the horizon looks like Numbani.
That it does.
So like I'm confused as to where he is. Like maybe Eichenwald and Numbani are like close to each other, and he's going from one to the other.
Dude,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like it's right across the pond, like Gotham is to Metropolis in BVS.
Right.
They're not far from
Chicago,
each other.
New York, touching each other. We get to see Ganymede make a serious amount of time on screen, tweeting and flying around and putting sticks on Bastion's shoulders.
Yeah, yeah, man. It gave me the feels, and you didn't like it.
No, I didn't. I didn't dislike it.
Well,
I don't.
Okay.
I wasn't about to. I'm not gonna go ahead and just come out and applaud it like it was great because I don't think it's as. I think it's better than the Soldier 76 short, but I don't think it's better than Widowmaker and Tracer. I don't think it's better than Reaper and Winston, and I don't think it's better than the Genji and Hanzo. I don't think it.
Okay.
I think it's the second worst short of the bunch. And
well, you brought up a great point as we began to talk about it at the beginning of the podcast before we started, and I didn't even think about it, but when you had mentioned developing the lore in a game that has no single player story, I didn't even attribute these shorts to that.
Yeah, these shorts,
even though that's what they are.
Yeah, these shorts' entire function is to develop the lore of the universe that we play in. You know, like I didn't even know that I should have known because it's spray paint all over the walls in King's Row and everything. But until I watched Widowmaker kill Zenyatta's dad or sensei or whatever, Like, I didn't realize that there was a huge problem between robots and humans in this world, and that's the big big thing that kind of shut Overwatch down, was this whole genocidal war against robots. Like, I didn't realize that was like the whole thing that fucked everything up. But yeah, it's like when you have a thing that builds lore like this, then there are questions that need to be asked. And maybe, you know what, maybe not. If you're just like, I just want to watch it and it's fun, then you know what, you go ahead and you enjoy that, and you enjoy Suicide Squad, and you enjoy Batman. But but for me, and as we all know, I ask a ton of questions, and like things bother me when either one, I have to do all the lifting, or the resolution is out of character. My first problem with the trailer is that, or not trailer, but the short, is that Bastion's just in the middle of the forest. Like, he just kind of comes back, turns on. Like, why is he there? Because we see when he fucking sticks his little fucking brain penis into the memory unit of the other Bastion, that he can see his memories, and there's a giant war happening. Like, they're all supposed to be primed and ready to go and fighting this like battle. Like, what is the explanation for why he shuts down? Because he's fully fucking functional when he comes back online.
Fully.
Like, he's fully functional. He has all of his bullets. He's got everything. And
telling you, man, he's a coward. He ran away.
It's like, and that could be, but then like he fucking has the woodpecker does the Vietnam flashback on him, and
you brought a great counterpoint,
and he
to
instantly drops into turret mode and starts trying to fucking drop fucking bombs and blows the forest apart. So it's like, I don't know if he's a coward, or did he just malfunction and go into turret mode and fall asleep and then just kind of come back arbitrarily?
Yeah.
I'm confused. Like, I love a good Wall-E story, and trust me, I love me some Jungle Book Lion King walk across a log in front of a waterfall type shit. Don't ever get me wrong. I love that. I'll watch that in anything. You're telling me that a character's gonna have some kind of emotional growth about putting violence down, and he's gonna walk across a fucking log in front of a waterfall or in front of a beautiful vista?
Deer.
Bam, I'm into it every single time. I'll be there. The highlight of the trailer for me has nothing to do with Bastion. It has everything to do with the fact that we got to see Reinhardt flame strike and absolutely obliterate a bunch of Bastion units with his shield.
Tight. And then throw out the shield so somebody's mangled body could get pulled away by a medic or something.
You know what? And this is also a load of shit. Reinhardt's shield can stand up to 3 Bastions, pummeling it for like 15 seconds at once. I play the fucking game, Blizzard. I know that that's not true. Like, I play as Reinhardt. I know for a fact that if a Bastion shoots at you, 1 Bastion, that fucker's down in 3 seconds by itself. So in theory, if 3 of them are firing in turret mode, they're all going down. Now, I know that that's most certainly like a actually to the max, and you know it's
super.
We shouldn't give a shit about that.
Actually.
But like, it just, there's a lot of things that happen in it where it's like, oh wow, it's like Wall-E. Wow, it's like Lion King. Wow, it's beautiful. It's fucking gorgeous. It's, you know.
It is. It looks really great. And somebody had a great tweet today, something about, I bet you thought Pixar could be the only ones animating the feels.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, hey, you kind of got me there. Maybe I did think that.
But I honestly think Disney.
I mean, I wasn't thinking it, but
I think Disney animation is better than Pixar at this point. I really do.
Sure. Well, you know what they meant by it.
Right. Because, you know,
the collective.
Yeah, because Pixar likes to kick you in the ass with emotions. But like, I do feel like, I don't feel like Disney animation gets its due nearly as much as it's supposed to. When you look at their track record over the last year, Zootopia is fucking unreal, Frozen was great, Tangled is great, Wreck-It Ralph is fucking phenomenal. It's just like, holy shit, every single thing they put out is amazing now. It's like, man, it's almost like Disney bought Pixar to figure out how to run an animation company better. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's neat to see Bastion get a story, and it's cool to see, you know, the what is it, like the Zatoichi blind samurai kind of thing, where it's like putting the violence down in sake of a peaceful life, and then to have the like violence eventually, because I mean, the end of this shows him very happy, but it most certainly is a precursor to the fact that the violence is coming back for him, because he's clearly in Overwatch fighting alongside everyone else. So
that is very clear.
So, you know, and he brings the bird. He brings little Ganymede to the battles.
Dude, that bird is.
That's bad parenting.
Maybe he's the real hero.
You know, the funny part is seeing all the memes with him. where it's like you see Bastion and like he has his hand out and then Ganymede lands and then you see him like bounce, lands on his shoulder. And then the eyes go fiery red, and it zooms in on Ganymede, and it's like, yes, kill them all. and it's the
I have not seen these.
It's the bird who's actually the one who's forcing him to murder everyone. Bastion's just the tool, and
man.
fucking. It's basically like a Master Blaster scenario where like Bastion is just the lighthearted Down syndrome person, and the fucking little person riding in his backpack is the one calling the shots. Except for in this case, it's a bird and not a little person. But
wow, that is crazy.
It's a Thunderdome reference for everyone who's not tracking along with that.
Not
shit.
Up on the Master Blaster.
Yeah, who doesn't know who Master Blaster is. But
jeez, come on, guys.
come on. You're gonna see Fury Road 10 times. You haven't seen fucking Thunderdome once,
right? Pay homage. Come on.
It's all right. I live in a weird ass place with my Mad Max and with Indiana Jones. Like I'm just like I'm a person.
Yeah, who doesn't though?
Well, no, I mean I feel like if you were to ask other film fans or pretty much anyone who likes those two franchises, when you get to me and they're like, what's your favorite Mad Max and what's your favorite Indiana Jones? It's straight up Temple of Doom and Thunderdome, and it's just like they're like. Thunderdome, the shitty one with the kids, and I'm like, yeah. And Tina Turner, yes.
Yep.
And they're like,
that's
and
the
Temple
one.
of Doom with the fucking stones and the ripping the heart outs. I'm like, yeah. They're like, that's only better than fucking Crystal Skull. I'm like, no, it's better than all of them. Like, shut the fuck up.
Oh man,
but I
we'll
digress.
agree on that one. So that
what else?
it's a scientifically proven fact.
What else we got in this Reeg report here? Because I know there's got to be more.
We got so after Overwatch, then you're not going to be up on it, but PS4 dashboard update beta started rolling out. We got some much needed features. We got folders now, better quick menu, so I can get to streaming easier.
It's almost like a computer.
It is almost
with the folders. It's almost like a computer.
But no, I don't know. It's a cool thing. It's just worth mentioning, and the beta's out now, going out to the public, so that means it'll be ready for prime time soon enough. There are some things I wish it would have added, or even been just a little bit bigger, or refresh the UI for, it's a 0.0 update. This is their firmware 4.0, so I expected a much bigger release than what it is, I guess. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's a console UI. That's kind of what I like about the PlayStation over the Xbox is it's much more simpler.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I wish they would have everything would have just stayed the way it was. No new
forever.
No new
changing
UIs.
anything.
Like the original PlayStation UI and the original Xbox UI with like the pulsating X. In a tube.
I was going to say the no UI. Wait, you just load a game. It just depends on what game you have in the system. Wait a minute. But number 5, we got, I don't know if you saw this one, dude. This is just classic. There's some just A+ trolling going on out at Gamescom in Germany right now. And I don't know who it is, but somebody threw up banners with Half-Life 3 strewn across it, and you need to pay attention because it's Half-Life 3, and then below that big title in parentheses it says editors who played it back then.
Oh,
so it's like
that's messed up. There are people who are reaching a fever pitch, man. Like,
oh, absolutely.
It makes me think of that old cartoon video, and we'll make sure this is in the liner notes because it's hard to find. But the fucking Gabe Newell at E3 cartoon, where it's just like, oh my god, what is that, a new Left 4 Dead? Oh man, it'd be so fucking sweet if they make a new Left 4 Dead. And then the third friend's like, do you know how long it's been? Just like, and the other guys are like horrified, and he's just like, where's the G-Man? Where is he? They're just like, and the other guy's like, I don't know where he is. They're like, Gabe Newell's gonna take the stage. Well, it's a ridiculous cartoon. We'll make sure that it's in there for you.
Definitely, and I'll try to make sure that I get a picture of this banner in there for you because you got it. It's literally, like I said, it's just A+ trolling.
A+.
It takes it to a whole new level. And then closing it out, on these DC cinematic, on the DCU tip, Henry Cavill posted an Instagram photo of a black Superman suit. And nobody knows if it was the Superman suit with an Instagram filter on it or if it is indeed a black Superman suit. Kind of alluding to a little comic book that it came out not too long. Well, actually, it is long ago, but
Little wavy mullet man.
I say, dude, mullet or bust. Fuck your black suit.
He can be red suit, but you want him to have a mullet. I'll tell you what.
Mullet or bust.
I'm gonna go one better than you. The red and blue energy Superman or no Superman at all in the Justice League. The one where he splits into two different energy forces, red Superman and blue Superman, and they're made of blue energy and red energy. Oh yeah, let's go for that mid to late 90s, early 2000s absolute worst Superman ever. That's what I want. Wow. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, and I guess so to put my theory to bed immediately, because today another photo made the rounds of, I guess, some mom or something had her kids on the set. It's supposed to be good PR, I think, but he's not rocking a black suit, very much rocking the traditional curl right on his forehead.
There's Ryan Lochte level of controversy around this thing.
Yeah,
they're saying that those are holdover pictures from the set from Batman versus Superman, and those are not Justice League photos.
Bullshit.
That's what the last round of news as of this evening was saying.
As of this evening.
Yep, is that those are potentially not at all.
And she waited 2 years to post this photo.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Come on, man. This is just like Patty Jenkins coming out. Wonder Woman's not going to suck. There's nothing going on here. What do you mean?
Nothing wrong with it. It's just fine.
It's just
A
fine,
plus super
people.
duper just fine. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy is right.
It's starting to become a work to get energy of any kind about the DC
to talk
stuff.
about, yeah.
Poor
It really
DC.
is.
Poor DC, I guess. Shots fired. What else? What's next? What do we got next? I like this.
Oh,
I like this
man.
new format where I don't just aimlessly shamble us into the next thing. I like where it's just like, what do we got going on now? What are we doing now?
What do we got? What can I? Come at me, bro.
What can I yell at for 5 minutes? Tell me.
That's all we got. That's it. That's the end of the Reeg Report.
But it's not the end of the show.
That's not the end of the show. That's the end of the Reeg Report, though. But keeping along lines of our topics, you had mentioned right at the beginning of the show that the Russo brothers have recently come around to back Anna Kendrick in her campaign for Squirrel
Oh my God!
Girl.
If this shit, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of a girl that I care about, like Squirrel Girl. I care about the character, and I like Anna Kendrick. I'm so tired of it. Like, just announce the goddamn movie. Just do it.
Right.
Just like. But you know what the worst part about this is? Because I fucking hate the whole like Tyrese campaigns to play Green Lantern. They're saying Cable will be the next movie. Dolph Lundgren's like, I should be Cable, and then fucking 10 guys are like, I'm Cable. I'm the best Cable. I look like Cable. Look at me. I'll cut my own eye out right now. And like, and this is without any of it working. You know, this is without any of the campaigning working for anyone. That this is where it's at. If this shit happens where Anna Kendrick's like, yeah, I can play Squirrel Girl, and she gets a movie where she's Squirrel Girl, or she gets a Netflix series, all we're going to get are people being like, you know who I think I'd be great as? Just all the time long. Aubrey Plaza and be like, I wish I was Zatanna the magician. I'm like, that is a terrible pick for a comic book character. Please don't be Zatanna for DC.
Please.
You be Kate Bishop in the Marvel Universe and you shut your goddamn mouth like Reeg said.
Yep.
So like I'm worried that like if this goes through, like I almost want it to fail, because if it goes through, I can't hear Charlie Sheen be like, I should be the new Professor X, and here's why. And like Tom Cruise be like, I should be Wolverine because I'm short, you know. So like I should be Wolverine, and like hearing everyone talk about these things and like go crazy about them. So like I'm worried. I think it's great that the Russos are like, yeah, we like Anna Kendrick's movies. She could be a good Squirrel Girl. I'm like, oh no. It's like, guys, you're doing exactly what we said. No one was talking about this. Now everyone's talking about it. You guys run the Marvel movie. You guys are at the absolute top.
You guys are in charge of the fucking Infinity War,
it went from no traction on like a Polish TV show to the guys who run Marvel films, being like, yeah, that is a good idea. Like in a month.
It's insanity.
So
it's just insanity. It went from tracking it. It went from what, a mention to a tweet to a photoshopped hypothetic Netflix poster to the internet, and then it kind of died down for the past 3-4 weeks.
Yeah,
like we're talking about.
We got the one with Shannon Purser saying that she thought she would.
Oh
be
yeah, and then somebody else comes out and says you're her.
And we're all like, yeah, Shannon Purser actually.
And now
like, Shannon Purser actually does look like Squirrel Girl. That would actually be a good casting choice.
Wasn't that Barbara?
Yeah, it's Barb from Stranger Things.
Well, you know what that is? She's just pissed that nobody gave a fuck about her in Stranger Things.
Apparently that's not true. Apparently she's like...
who gave a fuck about Barbara in Stranger Things? Name me one person who gave a single fuck about Barbara.
I'm saying...
Other than her best friend once she went to the Upside Down.
I'm saying that as far as the fans go, the fans fucking love Barb. The fans fucking love Barb. I'm not saying thematically or story-wise anyone gave a shit about her. Because, I mean, it was the 80s, and she was a total nerd. It's so, like, come on,
she just wants to play somebody who matters now.
You know? Now she wants a bigger, meatier role, and, I mean, when you look at it, and she wants
a piece of that pie. She wants a piece of that Marvel pie.
She wants them Squirrel Girl fans to bring her to the next level. But, yeah, so
Definitely.
The Russos, fucking goddamn you, Russo, you magnificent bastards.
Damn you, Russos.
You magnificent bastards.
Oh, we love you. Love you and hate you and hate you and love you.
So
I don't hate you at all. I love you. I love everything you do. Keep making every Marvel movie, please.
So what else do we got here?
Continuing on Marvel news.
Continuing on Marvel news.
Your favorite.
My favorite.
Your favorite. Well, one of your favorites.
Squirrel Girl?
Runaways. Squirrels? More Squirrel Girl news? Nah, man. In the same vein that we've got these awesome movies, we've got awesome shows on Netflix, and we've got that shitty show on CBS. We're gonna get another show on Hulu.
Yeah, man. And none of them are gonna connect. None of them connect.
Hashtag it's all connect.
Hashtag all the same universe because they reference Captain America and stuff like that.
Right.
So we're talking about.
Don't tell anybody.
We're talking about the Runaways, right?
Yeah, man, the Runaways.
Yeah, buddy. I really like the Runaways. I most certainly am all for it. As soon as they were like, "Yep, fucking no longer," it's because it's been on their docket for 15 years or whatever. Like back when they were still selling the rights to stuff, there was a whole thing where Fox was going to make a Runaways movie, and that was actually one of the first ones where like Whedon was like, "Oh yeah, I'd be totally into it," because it's right up his alley. Angsty teens, come on.
Oh, for sure.
Come on, man. Come on.
Buffy in the Marvel Universe. Let's go.
Exactly. But for those who don't know, because they're aimed at a very specific group.
Yeah, you need to put them up on game here. You're the one.
The Runaways are a group of some powered and some not powered children who are all kids of a crime family called the Pride, which is a grouping of supervillains who worship an ancient being, like a Cthulhu type set of aliens called the Gaborum. And basically the kids find out at their yearly sleepover party that their parents are actually pieces of shit. So they decide to run... As
any kid would, all of them collectively at the same time.
Exactly. Well, I mean, when they find out that they're summoning, an ancient set of gods to kill people, they're like, well, we shouldn't fucking be a team anymore. But the original, and this is the original 6 that I hope they go with, are Nico Minoru, Sister Grimm of the Marvel Universe. She's now very prominent in the Marvel Universe as she's grown up. She's the daughter of 2 wizards, and she's a witch, so she does magic. She has rivaled Stephen Strange on occasion, so she's pretty fucking real deal Holyfield. There's Carolina Dean, who's an alien. She is like Superman. Her powers are all filtered through the sun, but she's not like laser beams and fucking frost breath and shit like that. She can manipulate light, and she can fly, and her chosen name was LSD. Well, it's because in the beginning they used to talk about how when she'd fly and the sun would hit her, she would look like a diamond, so they called her Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. So LSD is where when you take out the truncating words, but it's also just a funny play on words in general. And then there's Molly Hayes, who is a huge favorite for everyone who likes the Runaways. When they started, she was like 10, 11 years old, so she's the littlest of the bunch. She's a mutant. She's the daughter of mutants who are telepaths, like Xavier and the White Queen. But her mutant powers are not telepathic at all. She's superhuman strength and invulnerability. She has been charted as stronger than Colossus, and she's a little girl. So it's really fun to watch her fight and kick the shit out of people. So it's pretty amazing. Her nickname, I can't remember if I said it, but she chose the name Bruiser. They all get to pick their own names, so all their names are not nearly as tight as, Iron Man, the Hulk.
Well, which is right.
Sometimes
it's kind of cool though. Sometimes it plays to their personalities.
Yeah, and sometimes you get a name like LSD, or you get a name like the one that Chase Stein chooses, and his nickname was Talkback, which has nothing to do with his
Talkback,
his abilities. He has futuristic. Right. He's the son of two crazy scientists, and he steals his father's flame. Like basically, he has the ability to kind of work like pyro. But these gauntlets make them, and the gauntlets have the best name ever in the Marvel universe. They're called Fistigons.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah, he steals his father's Fistigons.
He steals Fistigons,
and that's what he uses. Then there's the original leader of the group, Alex Wilder, who's the son of the mafia bosses who run the Pride. He has no powers, but since his parents are mob bosses, apparently he's an amazing strategist and planner. So he,
a la Rick Flag.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just
exactly. And then probably one of the biggest fan favorite is Gertrude Yorks, also known as Arsenic, and she's the daughter of two time traveling criminals who've come back from the 87th century, and she has an empathic and telepathic link with a genetically created Dianicus, which
humans are still around in the 87th century.
Apparently, we make it all the way there, and
jeez. Good work, guys.
We're persistent.
Round of applause.
We're persistent. Oh man, it's only 6,700 years from now. But the Dianicus, as most people probably know them, are what the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park are based off of. And the Velociraptor's name is Old Lace, based on an old movie, like a 40s movie, which is a weird thing. But when you meet Gertie, you find out she's one of those kids. It's like only like 40s style cinema. She's that girl, but she has a fucking empathic link with a dinosaur. And so basically you have a very odd cropping of powers. You've got a witch, you've got an alien, you've got a scientist, you've got a mutant, you've got somebody who's just a great strategist, and you've got a person who can control a dinosaur with their brain. And so it's like
sounds like the Children's Crusade.
Yeah, when you think about them, they had all sorts of crazy run-ins. They have fought with Cloak and Dagger and the X-Men, and they fought Bucky and Amadeus Cho and Scar and all.
Well, that's the new crew of the Runaways, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
before the shit going on now.
Cho was in there before it, and Jubilee was on the team too. I knew that in 2015 the new team was Bruiser, Jubilee, Bucky, I thought Dagger, but not Cloak, and then
I think they were both in there,
and then Cho and Scar, because they all technically were teens, but they have actually clashed with all of those people, and I think that's kind of like the fun part of the Secret Wars thing, is that they'll take people who were enemies and put them in positions that are not, specifically, for those characters. So to have everyone they've run up against in a fight become all of their teammates is kind of funny and a very Secret Wars-y thing to do. But the big thing that everyone was kind of worried about was Nico Minoru was no longer on the team, and she kind of became the leader and like one of the driving forces of Runaways. And she became one of the leaders of A-Force, though, which apparently is a very, very good book. I haven't read any of it, but I heard it's fantastic. Which I believe it's over now, is because the Civil War has...
I believe that was only available during the shifting of the universes, or the universi to the omniverse.
Yes. But basically,
so
if Hulu's producing us the same way that they produce like Difficult People and Casual, then cool. I think they're gonna have another hit on their hands, and Hulu's gonna.
Okay.
I think Hulu's gonna work really hard because the Netflix shows have set up a bar incredibly high.
Right.
And I think Hulu...
So this was my question to you. I haven't seen anything that Hulu's done.
I love Difficult People.
What have you seen?
I've seen Difficult People and
Okay.
Casual. And, I've actually watched a bunch of Deadbeat, too. But those are all, like, comedy shows. None of those are action-based. So, and those are all really solid in their own ways. But I feel like having the showrunners for Daredevil and Jessica Jones act as supervising producers for Runaways means that it can only be awesome. Because at this point, I don't think that they're going to make something that sucks. And I hope that there's I just hope there's enough budget that we include Old Lace, because like there's a lot of powers floating around in there, and if Flash can get away with doing King Shark, we should be able to get away with having a fucking dinosaur on the show.
Yes.
That's just my thoughts.
That King Shark looked awesome.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic big time.
That.
I'm cautiously optimistic big time about Runaways, because it's an untested commodity across the board, really. It's it's a team of characters that most comic nerds stayed away from because it wasn't aimed at them. It was aimed at kids.
Yeah.
And early age teens, very angsty stuff, your Twilights and your Hunger Games-ese and your Divergent-ises. Like it's aimed
man. Well, and everything you're mentioning, I think that's where I kind of like I'm anxious and I want to see it very soon, because I think Marvel does such a great job of applying a certain feel to each what would you call those, mediums or channels, almost, in a way, like how everything feels in the movies versus how everything feels on the Netflix shows versus how
everything looks on ABC,
shit feels on CBS. Then now we get this, which is already just the way it's being described is so different from all of those other channels.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get something similar in scope and scale to Netflix, but this will be lighter hearted because they're kids.
Sure.
A
little more like kind of the shit we've seen on the CW, maybe.
Maybe
the 100 type of stuff.
Yeah, maybe like the 100 or like Scream the TV series or Teen Wolf, which may not make anyone very happy, but I'm thinking about like level of dramatic importance. But seeing as that they'll be like that, I don't think that it means that they'll be as flimsy as the Scream remake or Teen Wolf. I feel like they'll have the feeling of Daredevil or of Jessica Jones, but it won't be like, this is my fucking city, and I'm gonna end everyone who gets in my way. And it's like, I murdered everyone, and the Punisher's shooting. Like, I don't feel like it's gonna go full tilt into darkness the way that like Jessica Jones and like it's like I telepathically raped you a bunch of times. Like there's, I don't think they go that dark, but I don't think it's gonna be as lighthearted as, golly gee shucks, Quake, you're going rogue. Like. Well, I guess I better step down as leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because fucking Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like fucking Mayberry, Andy Griffith level of like cheesy fluff. Like I feel like Supergirl is
pretty bad.
I feel like Supergirl is a more serious tone than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But
it probably does.
But whatever. But yeah, that's the Runaways. I think I'm super excited about it. I urge everyone to go out and buy the incredibly cheap collected works of the Runaways. The first set of stories is solid. There's good like betrayal. There's great dynamic between like a group of kids who have no formal leader. Because like most of the superhero teams in the Marvel universe or in any comic book or form of entertainment, when you get a team together, they have some kind of cohesion leader that they all report to, that eventually helps them become a team. Kind of that Mighty Ducks thing that happens with, the fucking Triple Deke, and they all stop being a park board fucking hockey team.
Charlie Conway.
Yeah, and they get Adam Banks on the team, and because he lives in the wrong district.
Ooh, cake eaters.
Yeah, fucking.
You know what? All right, no, I'm not even going to go there.
Don't you dare dog Adam Banks, because he breaks his wrist in the second one, and he comes back.
I'm not talking about Adam Banks. I'm talking about where we both are right now. And where there are real life cake eaters.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not sorry if any of you cake eaters listen to the show either, cake eaters.
Because I was like, don't you dog Adam Banks, because he's the man.
Yeah, Adam Banks is the man. He's even more the man than Charlie Conway was in number 2.
Yeah, I mean,
In D2.
Well, I mean, but when it comes down to it, though, Charlie gave up his seat so that way Adam could get back on the roster.
Shit, Charlie is the man. Damn it.
Because Keenan had taken Adam's spot while Adam was injured. They deactivated him.
Yeah.
You know,
You got me.
that's how you got to do it.
Here's Reeg. Here's a box.
And so, just in case you guys don't know what we're talking about, which you fucking totally should, that's the Mighty Ducks and the Mighty Ducks 2.
Yeah.
You can avoid the Mighty Ducks 3 because after you win the Olympics, who gives a shit about trying to make a varsity high school team?
Shit.
That's a dumb premise.
Yeah.
That's a dumb premise. But not a dumb premise. The Runaway sounds really awesome. So yeah, that's going to do it for the show for this week. I hope everyone enjoys the new format. It's going to be, I think it's way better. Like we'll get in and out of the topics you do want to talk about, and we'll just gloss over the stuff. And Reeg will do a very good job of informing you about the things that just need to get done quick, because I tend to take us on the world's most detour scenic view of a podcast that there's ever been. So like,
But we all love it. We just need to put a little music behind it sometimes with the
oh yeah, fuck this, just everything going on. But yeah, so we really appreciate you guys listening. Thank you guys for all the shares and all of the 1,500 likes we got on the Instagram this week for our ad we ran on the Suicide Squad episode.
Yeah.
So you guys make this whole thing possible. So if you guys can do us a solid of sharing it with 2 people, super dope. You know, or all those good things that are out there. We're continuing to expand all of the extra stuff. It's all good things all the time for us. So you guys have been great. We have been just a tiny bit better. I have been Dunners. He has been Reeg, and this has been the best Flarking podcast. We'll see you next time, guys.
See ya.